when they'll say they give you 60 million, but what people didn't understand it'll be so much in jobs, so much in so much in job money, so much in loans to your cars. So, but it wouldn't be actually that they actually got the money.
Right.
But the rest of the community would think you got the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's and
if you're thinking that, you think it's somebody getting them. Like right now, my contract with Developing Officer, people think that I get $1 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
But to really how it's structured is we get it's $600,000 a year, but 475,000 of that is paid to employees and paid to
keep the
funds. So you really it's paid out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's only probably less than not even probably about 60,000 goes to the community. The rest is for employees and staff. So it's paid out like that.
Yeah, we trying to get something like that, the problem center. We trying to get a facility to where people, kids have problems, almost like a Big Brother program that they can come and talk to us before they make a decision. If they want to learn how to do resumes or look for jobs or have computer classes or any problem that they have, you know what I mean, that the circle of brothers, we trying to create that as one of our projects, you know what I mean? And I want to ask you, what do you think about Freeway Rick? Do you think Freeway Rick is responsible for all the drugs that was distributed to us?
Not at all.
Or do you feel that the Oliver North, the Contra situation, you know what I'm saying, was designed for us to fail?
It was definitely
because that shit set us back 30 years, man.
Well, you know what?
When we had them drugs back in the day, we
I'm kind of different to that.
Hey.
82.
I might not be on the right side of this one.
I mean, basically, I was getting it, man, and I was selling. I had
I might not be on the right side of this one. Because,
I was riding to the prize. You was over there.
Let me say this.
It was fun, though, man.
It was.
But we was destroying our people.
We definitely did.
Right.
And I want to say, I think it's more glorification on the destruction than it actually was. Because if you look at the amount of people who got hooked on drugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of people who because if you look at where we rose from,
right?
Because we are people who continue to rise.
That's no matter what I was going to say, because that set us back 50 years. Like, we just now became able to go to school, man, integrated in 1957.
I'm going to say...
so I was alive, we was alive when Martin Luther King was alive, and we had it bad back then. That was 68. We was alive, but now Tyler Perry owned BET, VH1.
Yeah.
Like Michael Jordan, we're some of the most richest powerful
But in reality,
in the world,
that really births off of cocaine, right? Like, I'm gonna give you, let me explain to you why.
Right.
It was a mentality that we birthed that came from the hustle of drugs.
Yes, it was.
And then it was a mentality that went into hip hop off of the hustle of drugs.
It was.
And that was at that time. It was the first time that a black man, it was the first time a black man not having an education could get to some money, make some money, move his family, and put them in a certain way. If you look at where the conditions we lived in prior to crack cocaine, if you looked at the streets, where we lived at, dilapidated buildings, where we lived at and where we grew up at, to say where we are now, 20 years from that, I wouldn't never ever want to say they crack and they were advancing, but the mentality that I gained from that you gained from that, and that a lot of other brothers gained from that was that I'm out here to hustle, I'm gonna get it. I don't want to live like this, and I'm gonna get it how I gotta get it because I don't want to live like this. Now, and I said this about Crippin' and Blood, right? We only have 2 standing armies. I mean, within other different gangs. If the mentality was to change, and we were to change the agenda of our mindset, and our men grew, into men, and leaders were able to reach back to kids, then the direction of where we are going would change immediately. There's no movement or movement of people that did not first start in a negative way.
See, that's what I was leading to. I was saying that with generational curses, it created a lot of situations to where the men wasn't able to be a man. When they started giving the women the Section 8, it started having the women to
that hurt us more than anything.
Not let the man in the house.
That hurt us more than crack.
Come in and look for his clothes, and then they take his driving license. He can't get a job now, so the woman start raising the kids, and the woman can't raise no man. I didn't become a man until I went to prison around men. Because mama can't raise no man. She can only raise a boy. So there's a lot of 35-year-old, 40-year-old boys running around here that don't have men in their life. I went to Folsom and got set down by a lot of people that educated me like, hey man, look man, this is what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like in 4800, you know, the homies, the big homies, educated. Like, hey man, look, this was happening. You know what I'm saying? So a motherfucker was like a warrior. At the same time, a motherfucker was a man and made decisions as a man. You know what I'm saying? So they did a lot of shit, you know, like Planned Parenthood. They killed a lot of our babies, man. Intentionally, like to get rid of us. You know what I'm saying? If you read like Bill Gates' philosophy, this whole thing, get rid of 3 billion niggas off the earth. He said niggas ain't shit anyway. We need to get rid of these niggas. You know what I'm saying? And they whole thing, man, like the COVID and all that shit, bro. All that shit is part of the mass hysteria, man, to create that situation, bro. We living in a time now that we used to think like, damn, what if this, what if, and it never happened. Now that shit can happen.
Oh yeah.
The reality now is like, bro,
go with that book. They're trying to, you know, the Willie Lynch theory is out the way now. They already accomplished that. You know, divide, conquer, light skin. They done accomplished that now. Now what's next is they trying to break our interior, our outer interior now. Break out our families, break down these homes. You know, break down the money that's generated in.
And not only
we
that, we dealing with AI.
We're dealing with AI, artificial intelligence.
AI is gonna come in this motherfucker and start questioning us. You know, you gonna ask Siri, like, I think this, and Siri gonna say no. I don't think that. They gonna start challenging.
Remember that movie, Eye of the Eagle?
You know what I'm saying?
When they first chatted, Terry I was trying to do a jump, and he jumped.
You gotta teach your kids to go to school for something, because you know, doctors become doctors through school. Nurses become nurses through school. It's something that you apply yourself for. So you gotta apply yourself for something that's gonna be AI can't do. Because they doing everything. They even painting houses now. Man. They driving cars. They
dancing on the pole.
Man, I've seen a goddamn robot beat a dude, a professional tennis player. He was whooping the shit out that motherfucker, man. Like, they can move, bro. They agile. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, you gotta get into something that's gonna be on human only.
On human only.
You know what I'm saying?
I was talking to it's crazy you talking about that, because AI is eventually going to move into the schools. So once they move into the school and start the education process, they got a pilot program that they're trying to do right now, where they want the kids to go in some of the high schools.
The computer going to teach them?
Where they'll go to school 2 days a week. And you'll go to school 2 days a week. And those 2 days will only be to turn in homework and assignments for the teachers to check it. But watch how much money they save, because now teachers don't have to be at school all the time. You don't have to do nothing but feed the kids. You still get the money. The schools still get the money for the kids attending school on the computers. So you're still gonna make the money if you're at school. You just don't have to pay out to the teacher. And then how the program is, if you play in sports, you still play sports. You still go to practice at the school. You still do everything you want to do at the school. But now you can remove the teachers, because AI is teaching them. Once they log on the computer, they're in the school. Once they do their assignment, they're in the school, they turn in. If there's anything physical they need to check, they can check it. But the computer can check it and see if you used AI to do that assignment.
Oh, so, now, so you cheated.
Well, if you try to cheat, AI is the one that's teaching you. So they gonna know if you try to use another AI program. You know what I mean? So now you saving money and you removing the teachers. You taking away jobs. Right. So these are thousands of jobs that's gonna be affected. So now you're removing that interaction with kids. And if you remember, we only 65 years of actually going to physical schools. Our parents didn't actually go to school.
That's what I was saying.
You know what I mean? We're the first generation to do that. So once they revert back to that, and they had kids learning at home, now you just went back to a whole nother form. And you say, and if you're the school, imagine what LAUSD gonna say. They gonna save billions by not having to pay these teachers. These teachers.
Do you notice though, you not to cut you off, that they don't take the homies back to jail no more? You remember the homies used to get out and they smoke, they get their sides back, and then they don't even take them no more, man.
Well, they don't threat to themselves no more. They don't threat to themselves no more. They finish with that. They're not mental health. They releasing. They'll hold you for mental health evaluation for 72 hours and let you ride out on the warrant. Right out. Same 2 hours, come on home.
And that goes to what I was talking about with gentrification, right? Like our neighborhood, and a lot of neighborhoods across the country. The people that we grew up with, that me and him grew up with in our neighborhoods, those men are downtown. Right. That generation of men who should be owning property and buying property in our neighborhoods are downtown, and they either stressed out, mentally dealing with something, or they just gave up on the fact that they would ever own property. Now they just grinding and hustling from day to day. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then it goes to, like you said earlier, to pull it from up under the carpet. When you seen this woman system that they called really apartheid, that they called Section 8 and all these other things, that destroyed the nucleus of the family. Right. That was the most devastating blow, even more so than crack cocaine.
That's when they started
because
saying
crack
independent cocaine, women, and a lot of women became lesbians.
Exactly, but
because of that.
But you put them together though. When you put them together, let me explain to you how they work together.
Right.
Because if you was just to remove the Section 8, the
GR,
all that away from and just deal with crack cocaine, right? Then you would only be dealing with people who was addicted. The addicted people wouldn't be as many as we think it is.
Right.
And now the man is stressed out because the man is no longer welcome in the home. Right. And now the woman is telling the man, look, you can't come in because I got somebody to take care of me. That's the government.
Right.
So now you put the man in the street and the father, and you got babies who are not being raised by the men in their house.
But at this time, they destroyed because child support is going to be forever. Child support is forever.
Yeah, and you paying child support, but what hurt us more? Was it crack cocaine, or was it child?
Well, crack cocaine, it gave us. We started disrespecting
child support.
We started disrespecting our elderlies off crack. That's what took. Like when an older person come
but it wasn't as many. If you think about it, Papa, if you think about it, I lived in that era.
Right.
I could name all of the people who came and bought drugs on my hand. Yeah, I could name all the people who. If you remember from us hustling,
in my hood, man, you could stand on any corner, bro, and say, "I'm rolling, right?" And
they
gonna come. Like we had it to where you could go to any part of the hood. You didn't even need no spot.
Ours too.
And it was like older people came for the drugs, and we sold it to them, and we called them names, and we disrespected them. So we used to say. Well, I used to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. It took away all that shit. We started disrespecting our elders. They didn't mean shit that was crackheads and strawberries and all that stuff, man.
It definitely destroyed. It definitely destroyed a major portion of our people and our leaders. It definitely hit them, but I think it was so many other factors.
Of course.
And we always talk about when we talk about destruction, we talking about black men,
right?
Because we are the focal point of everybody's target.
Right.
We talking about the black man and how the black man grew up. If we go back to when I first thing we was hustling selling was Sherm. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was Sherm, PCP. It was Sherm, PCP, Angel Dust, and all that. That was the first thing that we knew.
Right.
And we used to see the same people who eventually became crackheads.
With Sherm
With Sherm heads.
And
then it may have been a little bit more who eventually got caught up. More women did.
Curiosity killed the cat on that.
What drug it took a long time to really catch on was meth. Like the homies didn't really mess with no meth.
Because then
the white they just started messing with meth when they got in their 40s and 50s,
so cheap.
man.
Yeah, because they made it so cheap. It was LSD, acid. That was something that we didn't want to touch. We were scared of that.
Drug. Remember they had a name for it in '84. It was called ice.
Yeah.
But it didn't hit.
It didn't hit
like they thought it was.
Nah.
But
then later on,
40 years later, man.
They said it took ice when it came out years later. It took everything away that cocaine didn't take away.